Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it the gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet? Has to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what cost others. As for me, give me liberty, or give me death.
Welcome to the Warlock Show. Hello, it's your old devil flyer. Flying high today. Flying high again. What's going on? What's going on? Hell peeps. Hell peeps. I'm not coming on camera till I have my co-host here. He's got things to do. He's got doors to, come through and make a drink and relax, and he'll be here momentarily. Hello, welcome to 4 o'clock shadow, everybody. Oh, that's not it. Well, I thought it was. Obviously, because I reached over and tried to grab it. Okay. Obviously, I don't have it here in front of me. Anyway, started on volume 2 of season 14 of Gunsmoke. There's your Gunsmoke reference for today. Maybe you're not even in here yet, so you didn't even get to hear that. So what does it matter? If a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, does it really matter? Or did it really happen? As they say. I guess, today's wonderful flavor that I will be drinking is lavender. So what does lavender taste like? I thought that was a color, a flower, among other things. I planted some lavender Not today. I watered some lavender today, but the marigolds are really popping. I got an orange and a yellow flower now. They don't get very big, you know. They almost look like a corsage. What's the flower I'm trying to think of that you use for corsages? You know, especially back in the day. I guess they still do that. I mean, you know, arm. Sometimes they have like an arm lily and everything, but that's not what I'm talking about. Coronation. Isn't it a coronation? I don't know. You know, they tell me the grass is green, so I say it's green. But sometimes it's brown. Sometimes it's blue, which is really weird. Uh, coronation. Yeah, that's the crinkly one. Like you crinkled up a piece of paper and put it right there on your lapel. Coronation Street is a sort of show in the UK as well. I think it's not playing anymore, but back in the day, like the 70s, maybe 80s, it was going. I never watched it, but now there's some Doctor Who stuff. My eyes have crusted over, so I must yawn or something. Last couple days, you know, and sleep, and it just, you know, I mean, from inner part to outer, you know, so beyond just, you know, what you get out of the corners of your eyes. It's like, wow, you know, you wake up and you're all crusted over. I can't see. I'm blind. Yeah, it'd be hot out there. I checked the mail, nothing in the mail. I didn't expect anything in the mail. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, why don't I send Anthony? I just didn't want it. And I need to talk to Anthony about something else as well. The tapestry, getting that made, you know. So I didn't want it to be, you know, quick and easy. Just, hey, bang, I haven't gotten my book. I haven't even checked my messages today. Most of it's DM groups and stuff that I'm in that I'm not even, you know. Raul and T says, hey, thanks for showing up on my stream after you left. I got raided. Thanks, Devil. Oh, sorry to hear that. Let me laugh about that. There we go. James Ryan, like my octopi, he kind of laughed at the Japanese Playboy issues where one of the ladies was an octopus and one was a camel. Showed those yesterday. It's nice to see that Topicless on Tuesday still sending me the link, or at least Luke is sending me the link, and Jason does too. Fortunately, I've been working, or fortunately, very fortunately. I did Truman last. No, I did Truman the night before. Not last night. Last night I stayed in Jonesboro, a zone that I have rarely done. We've got new maps, and these maps are like this big. I kid you not. They're big poster size maps, laminated, that they've used and put, you know, punch hole and put 3 rings through to hold it all together. That Garmin is coming in handy to show me the layout of the streets, and then that way I can form a strategy. Although it didn't work very well when I was up in Pocahontas. Maybe I watched that a little bit too much. I think I used the Garmin last time to lay out my plan strategy there, because on a map they may look like these roads. They're like almost single car roads. They're diminutive compared to, you know, I noticed that in Truman on the new side. I'm like, why are they not expanding and looking ahead and expanding on the roads here? with some of the new houses, and they had some really nice houses on the west side. East side, you need that Garmin. It's very hard, takes a lot of mental energy, although I've done it, to remember the layout of the streets, and even then you're going to waste time getting it wrong. Whoever laid out the old part of Truman was drunk. It was just, it's crazy. But went to Wynn the other night, and I failed to say that I'm doing my route on the west side. Welcome to the show, Shadowhawk. Hello. Hello.
What's happening, Rex? What the hell is StreamYard doing now? And all my stuff has changed again.
I don't know. I mean, StreamYard, I just want it. I'm resistant to some change. I feel like people well, we need to upgrade our service and da 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 da. Maybe that's true, but why does it have to affect me and what I'm trying to do? I just want basic service. I think most people want basic service. They want to figure it out and they want to be left alone. But they always have, I don't know.
They screwed up the option bar on the bottom of my phone is all different now even than it was yesterday. My whole to pull up chat or anything, all the buttons are changed. It's fucking weird.
I forgot to tell you, I got yelled at work.
Oh, yeah? For what?
The other night. Well, I mean, it was John Q. Public, walking on the side of a street, and I'm doing my route over there on West Side of Wynn, and when you turn onto that street, there's it's like streets of San Francisco. It's a rough ride, to go from here to turning. And I was in the process of turning, straightening out, and this guy's on the side of the road. And of course, there's no responsibility for this guy to even just step to his right one step just to be safe. Hey, Peter, if he gets hit by my truck, I mean, is the responsibility all on me as the driver?
Probably.
Or is it the person walking too? Now, I wasn't going to hit him, but immediately he's like, and I can't hear him. The thing's going.
Yeah, you got the thing running.
And I thought, and no second thought, of course, Abby's there, and that'll quell a lot of people when she starts barking. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, got a dog's going to eat my face off. But I rolled my window down, and I think I rolled my window down the full way, which if we talk to people, they say just crack it. Of course, rolling it down is probably safer because if they wanted to break that in on you, I'd rather not it be there, I don't want glass shards and whatnot. It didn't escalate to that. I just said very angrily, because he was angry. He wasn't giving me a chance at all and had no responsibility, apparently, to kind of for his own safety. I thought, what is this guy doing? He's just going to stand in front of my truck. He wasn't in front of my truck. Okay. Like I said, I'm in the process of turning. So at some point, yes, he was in front of my truck. But then once I get it over completely, and I'm supposed to slow to a crawl, maybe, but it took me a second to see him. He's not using any reflective stuff or whatever. So he owns the road, and he's just yelling at me. And I said, I see you. I see you. That's all I said was 2 or 3 times. I see you. You don't have to jump down my throat and say that I was going to run over you. And I know you, as Joe Q. Public, had no responsibility to get out of the way of a speeding truck. That would be too much effort on your part. And I don't think the guy was drunk. Often you have to deal with some drunks, and you can see their eyes are bulging and they're drunk. Okay. This guy I don't think was drunk. He's walking to wherever he wanted to go. But I mean, like I said, no reflective. He owns the roads there. So what I did was that put me in a foul mood, of course, for a minute. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to, so that we don't have a reoccurrence. Because often when I do my route, I'll see somebody on this street, they're walking. I'll come back, or the roads will send me back,
Right.
whatever, and I'll see them again on another road. I said, I don't want to encounter this guy again. So I went to another part of the zone. Yeah, another part of the, map. And then I came back later. I think that was the last thing that I did, was just
I
leave
got
that
you.
to last.
And
Which was
hello to Eric, Mike Walters,
Hey,
and
Rosie.
oi, Risey, my ninja.
Still making comics, Rising. Yeah, I've been haven't been doing much lately as far as the artwork. I've been just working on pizza rounds, and I don't really have anything new to show, with the pizza rounds, but I've been working on them, I've been doing a little with the head sketches, purchased a new lettering. Well, I hit my cable there. And it knocked my camera off there for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're walking out and about, and especially if you're not drunk, or even if you are drunk, can you not? I mean, maybe you thought I was going to go by. I don't know, but give a person a chance to explain. I love it when they go for the juggler, immediately, like, how do I respond to that? To me, I just responded like, I see you. There's no reason to be yelling at me or getting in front of my truck or whatever, acting like
Right.
a 2-year-old. I'm not going to hit you. If you thought I was going to hit you, maybe you needed to, but he remained calm and just, by God, I'm going to walk this way and nobody's going to dissuade me. Well, I don't know. If you want to walk around like a madman, and I mean, just you're mad at the world, that's your attitude. That's on you.
Right.
It has nothing to do with me. And if you call me cracker, then you're a racist. I'm albino. So there. Yeah. He didn't like it, but I didn't like it either. I don't. Mike Walters in the house. Eric and Boyd. Hello. I'm drunk right now. Not really. We get it, Rex. Yeah. Is Devil's Flyer being fulfilled? How long is the campaign going? It's probably going to go on even after fulfillment. People that's told me, once you get the book out, then people are going to be showing what they get. And Eric and Boyd hopefully will show pictures. That's all I ask, Eric, is when you get everything. And Eric asked me about a week or so ago, when am I going to get the big bundle? Or if you don't give it to me, it's no problem. There's no. Eric won the ultimate contest, and Lorenzo the mystery contest. So, I mean, yes, he'll get his stuff. He's a little impatient for it, like he was with the ash can, right, Eric? You got your ash can, your cards, and you got original art with that too that you weren't expecting. That bookmark you said. I will. I said I would. Yeah, but yeah, I knew you did, Eric. Yeah, stuff is. I talked to the printers. Oh gosh, about a week ago, 5 days ago or something, and got them on track of doing stuff. I haven't gotten anything from them yet. Today was the last day, so I guess sometime Monday, I'll go down there and say, "Have you got this stuff prepared in files?" So, I told her that we're going to be printing soon, and she was like, because she's happy to see one of her friends works at Walmart, apparently, because I saw her working at Walmart, and she works at the local comic book store, one of the 2 local comic book stores that we have. So she has a friend in comics, and she kind of likes that, and she's excited, that we did the ash can and everything. And I don't know exactly what they're printing. Will they just? I really think that I probably do the sticker book through them. Although I do have the $300 voucher for through Pete Smetty, but that was I kind of like to do something different like that. I'm thinking about a sideways comic, a midnight sideways comic.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe we can print the 12-page story that'll be inserted in the other book, and the insert will be in newsprint in the middle of the pulp, and the rest of the pages will be on a little bit finer paper. I don't know. We'll see. I'm in no hurry for it. It's like, yeah, this voucher, he's going to honor it.
Yeah, you're not going to lose.
Unless he just dies, he's going to honor this, unless he dies. Now, anything can happen or get sick, I'm not impatient.
Pete
How dare
seems
you?
pretty healthy, man. He's a young guy, so
Just know that you're going to get everything, Eric. You know, you're going to get everything.
plus some extras.
Yeah, plus some extras. Definitely. I mean, it's
I
like
know. I think Liefeld did an issue of what was he working on at the time? Hawk and Dove, I think, where he did it all landscaped. It was all, sideways panels.
oh yeah, there's I mean, of course, there's sideways issues, right? And sideways covers. Byrne did one with Fantastic Four. There
You don't
was
see him nowhere near as often as he used to, though.
I think there was an X Factor or something. Well, my
Might have
reasoning
been.
for doing Midnight that way was landscape. You see, it kind of fits the vast landscapes that you might want to draw, the mesas and whatnot. You know,
Yeah,
the
and
desert.
it gives you more
Yeah.
room for like shootouts and duels
Yeah.
and stuff like
Oh,
that
yeah.
too. So
Yeah, like Tank Ferret did a triptych of Midnight, shooting all those guys in town, and that would probably reduce down greatly, per a pinup, sideways issue. I'm always trying to think of how to mess with the format and different stuff, but
sure, it's nice to play around with it. I mean, and I think people like to see something different too, and you get a surprise when you open up a book. You're like, oh, I didn't expect that. That's kind of cool,
Right. And that's what being a charter member of the Devil Flyer fan club is all about. You get stuff in the mail. I know people are not getting their charter member cards yet, but that'll be the first thing that we're printing here in a few days. I'll just give her an arbitrary number, probably 100, because I want to comp some people, and then in the next years till I'm out of them, I'll just, okay, thank you for coming on and being our guest, Kelsey Shannon. Here's your charter member. From now on, you get free stuff in the mail,
there you go.
from time to time.
Yeah, you
And I
can
will
use them
always
as
check.
little giveaways or what have you.
Mm-hmm. I'm wanting to bring back the fun in comics, and a great story. Look, I told you, with this project, I've had two things to prove. Three things really. One, that I can fulfill, which I think has been somewhat established
Cool.
through the Ashcan. Two, that I can write a damn good story, and not just one damn good story, but many good stories.
There you go.
Although I'm sure that the number one, this preview, this prequel issue will be a little janky to some folks. I understand that. We're just getting stuff established, but it's going to seamlessly, pretty soon, you'll see what I'm doing, and I think I've sold it well enough that, I can see that through the support that we've gotten on the project that, people are genuinely interested in it, and they're, but I don't want to be one of those that puts out one issue and they go, okay, I supported him. That was nice, but I don't want to come back for a second one. I can't. And if you can't financially, I understand, but I want to do better on the second book and the third book and the fourth. I want to do better and better and better, or at least, what we did on the first one, whatever that turns out to be. I want to keep everybody, and you can't keep everybody. You're not going to please everybody, right? I understand we're going to have a few people drop off probably, but I'm not speaking that. I'm going to speak that everybody who likes this will like it and want to return for another round, of stories and stuff. And my third thing I want to prove is that I'm an artist. So I'm an artist. I'm a writer that can write a really good stories, and that will be entertaining in kind of the fashion I grew up with in comics. And I think a lot of the readership is, Eric and Gable and Shadowhawk and all of us. We're all about the same age, right? We have some younger people, of course, and
Maybe not. I feel like I'm 90.
Yeah, well,
The only thing is, I feel dead.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, this heat's not going to abate any. All right, so we're going to drink lavender today. Lavender, one of the last exotic flavors that I and I mixed it up. I've been a little, I've been tired too, man. I'm like, why am I so tired, Abby, after I get done doing all this? But I am quite active in that truck,
Oh, yeah.
That's like that lead paint I used to eat off walls.
Where is
think I'll
Carrie
just drink
today? I
some
haven't seen her in the chat yet.
lavender. I thought Carrie was in here. Maybe I was mistaken.
I haven't seen her yet. Should probably be here in a minute. So what do you think? How's that lavender?
It's,
Kind of funky.
do you have a tongue scraper? No, it's not as bad. Nothing is so bad as Sonic's ocean water. Pass it up. My sister didn't even like ocean water. There's Carrie. She's saying, "Hey, gents." See there.
Wow.
A number of Tijuana Bibles were sideways printed in digest size. Erica Boyd says,
Carrie.
I have a complete collection under my bed. He says, I found. No, he really didn't say that. I found one in a sugar factory I worked at many years ago. It has been there for a long time. Laugh out loud. Is there water in the squirt bottle? No. How's the patient?
Yeah, water mixed with whatever that.
Yeah, with the powder. Yeah, mix it up. And I'm pretty good at mixing it. This is like 20 ounces in there. I think they're geared to like 16 ounces, so I don't fill it up all the way full. So it, it's not watered down like Kool-Aid. You can, even with Kool-Aid, you can get the flavor too watered down, right?
If you a little too much water.
Yeah. She did well. I'm not letting her jump in, and stretch out. I'm not letting her jump in and out of the truck. I'm lifting her up by her rib cage. Of course, I don't want to lift her up by the other. It's, stitched up. And even if it wasn't, you don't lift them up by their stomach. Grab a hold of that rib cage.
Right.
And just short hop them into the truck and out of the truck. I usually pull over every night when I come in the house, Shadowhawk. I pull over to the ground because I figure the ground is softer for her to jump on, although it's been hot and it's kind of hard baked earth. It's still a softer pad for her to jump on than concrete, in the driveway.
Sure.
So, but now I've been in the last few days. I just gave her anti-inflammatory. I just gave her first dose. She'll get another dose. Supposed to give it every 12 hours, but we're kind of on a different schedule. I'm still doing it about every 12 hours. I'm not watching. But like, it was getting to be dawn and watching Gunsmoke. She was relaxing. I'd made something to eat and made something to eat for her. And, we're just kind of like, because when you come home, you don't want to just go to bed, right?
Yeah, you gotta unwind a little bit. Right?
You want to unwind a little bit, and it takes me hours sometimes to unwind, and just really relax. And when I first get home, I'm kind of been kind of wasted, kind of tired, even though they've been short nights of late. Had a short night on the pre-spray on July 3rd. Had a short night on 4th of July, a real short night, because they only shot off about, if they went 20 minutes with those fireworks, I'm surprised.
That's crazy.
I don't know why. Maybe it was because they knew that most people they didn't go to any great expense. They probably plan on next year, at least this is what I'm thinking, for the 250th anniversary of the United States, to shoot off more then. But on this year, they knew that Jonesboro was having a big thing. They had a big one out at One Ball Field on the 3rd, and they have one big one out on the biggest yet. And I got caught in that traffic coming back, and it took me 20 minutes to go about a city block.
Wow.
Which I'm not getting a big payday that night anyway, so I really don't care if I sit there on the time clock. I'm getting time and a half. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I got caught in it. It wasn't like, get out of the way, you damn bum, or anything.
Nah,
No,
I'd be
man.
driving slow anyway.
Now, I was trying to, I mean, they want us to do the speed limit there and back. So I guess I'm going to be going slower, which is really, I like to be a little lead foot getting there. But now coming back with all the deer and possums and foxes and coyotes and other stuff that might jump in front of your truck, or pedestrians. Thank you. I see you. Look,
pedestrians that take no self-responsibility.
There was, when I went to Florida, there was a girl that I didn't see. I mean, look, man, they're not wearing any. She was black. She was Nigerian black. She was dark. She was Shadow Hawk black. You could not see her,
until she smiled.
Well, I mean, we went right past her. There's two of us in there. I got a navigator, and we're going faster too. I'm going about 20 miles an hour. Now that's a big difference from 14.
Oh, sure.
We got the speed. It's not fast, but it seems fast, especially down some of those roads. I don't know. It's wear reflective stuff, or don't get so close to the side of the road, whatever. I mean, most of the people are happy to see me there. I've been doing it so long. They're like, hey, can you go through the yard and whatnot? And I'm like, yeah. They don't even have to say. They just kind of make the motion. I'm like, yeah, you bet. They love to see me. They're sitting out there. They're getting eaten up by mosquitoes. But I stayed in Jonesboro last night, so I knew it was going to be a short night. Shadow, you missed the start of new drinking game. A shot for every time the fire is mentioned. Now take a shot every time Gunsmoke is mentioned. Cheers. And that does not count because I was reading your chat, by the way. How do you spell your dog's name? Is it Abby or Abby? It's actually Abigail. I almost married a woman called Abigail, was her name, although she went by Gail. I knew her for over 10 years.
Okay, so if you weren't writing it out and you were just going to write out Abby, how would you spell it?
Abby, I'd probably ABBY, but it's Abigail, really. I mean, is her name.
Well, and most Abby's are an Abigail, Rex, yes.
Abigail's a lovely name.
Yeah, I'm saying most Abby's are an Abigail.
So I named my dog Abigail after
Gotcha.
After the marriage that didn't happen, or the woman that didn't happen. So she's the one that had cancer and lost her left eye to cancer.
Okay. I didn't realize that was her name.
Yeah. So I named my dog, after I got my dog a few years later, after her.
Because I just thought Abigail
was a lovely name. Huh?
A little clarity. I was responding to Eric. I'm just looking for a little clarity. That's what I said. If you were going to spell it, because Abby is short for Abigail anyway, but different girls spell it different ways. Some of them spell ABBY, IE.
Yeah, it's ABBY. I mean, I guess I'd take the short route, short route instead of IE at the end.
Yeah, I guess some people just think the IE is cuter or something.
Yeah, there's an Abbey Street, ABBY, I believe, right over here that I take, into one of them to get home. If I'm coming from that direction, or go to the grocery store or whatever, and then come back through there.
Well, and Abbey is wasn't that the place where the monks lived, right? Or was that where the nuns lived?
Oh yeah, an abbey. Yeah,
yeah,
an abbey. They called it an abbey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be interesting just to look up, and I think you can do that on YouTube. I know I often look up words, and sometimes not even in I think I looked up zeitgeist to get the spelling right on that, or to hear it pronounced, certain words. I did a search, it was like 2 words, like thunder something. I don't know. Or maybe I can't remember. It was something in German, because with the 43, I'm trying to give them German names and then give you a translation. Remember how hard we used to do that?
Thunder is Donder in German.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't And you have to be careful with that. I've worked with enough languages. You think, okay, I've broke it down. This is the English equivalent. No, it may not be. You really need to talk to somebody who speaks German, because there's different iterations, different. Oh, well, we wouldn't, if you were going to combine those words, we wouldn't say it like that. That would be,
right,
correct, but that wouldn't be how people, identify that. So,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, most languages have a male and feminine side to their language. English does not. I think that's why it's so hard for people, and it's a melting pot of languages. I mean, we have French, we have Hispanic, we have different terms. Just like when translating the Bible into Greek, the Greeks didn't know what tabernacle was. They didn't know. They didn't have words for baptism. So
right.
they had to change. They had to hit it as closely as they can in translation, or make something up. Like Adonai, they would put Lord. I don't know. It's language. It's changed over a while. I have a 1611 King James, just reprint of what it would have been like in the old Anglo-Saxon, and it's very hard to read because you don't have the completed English letters yet. 26 letters, and Hebrew only has 24 letters in their alphabet. So, but I mean, most languages started out pictorial. Like Gamel, the original, especially in Hebrew, looks like a camel with a hump. Even the new letter looks like a camel with a hump, somewhat, but less than their original pictorial language, which was really pictorial, which is kind of funny because another Gunsmoke reference. An episode that was kind of funny where Festus is writing. Now, he can't write or read, right, in Gunsmoke, and for some reason, he won't even learn. On one episode, he had a banner for a dance or something that they were going to put in. And they was like, all right, now put it there. And they're trying to tell him, but Festus, it's upside down, and he's like, he always fakes his way through it. That says barn dance tonight, blah, blah. Yeah, it's upside down. It's funny. But now he was sitting down there doing a pictorial language, He's like Matt Dillon, he does like a cowboy hat and a star for Matt Dillon. Come to Hayes. So he puts a haystack. So he does it all pictorial so that he can, he has Newly dictate it to him and he writes it down. And Miss Kitty's like, oh, I see, watch this. That's a haystack, and then another person comes in and is like, what? This is crazy. Well, everybody knows Festus can't read. Very good episode with, I can't remember his name. His last name's Forrest. He was the main guy on SWAT. Remember SWAT?
I remember SWAT. I don't remember any of the guys' names.
We might have to do a search for I think they did a SWAT movie not too long ago, a few years back, right? Now, see, I put in SWAT, and they give me SWAT Kats, which is spelled SWAT, and Cats is spelled KATS. Oh, now they got me so flustered. Tell me how to spell SWAT.
How to spell what?
SWAT.
White?
SWAT.
Oh, SWAT. SWAT.
Okay, I thought so. And then they start messing with me and want to get SWAT Kats.
Oh.
All right, you know what? I'm going to put periods behind the maybe that'll help.
Yeah, you might have to do the acronym, the little dot after each letter. Hey, trusty sidekick in the house. Good to see you,
SWAT
Trusty.
was good. That was one of the earliest.
Yeah, because SWAT is actually special weapons and tactics. So technically an acronym.
Yeah, I'll find his name. I'll show you a picture of him. because he's in the opener, you know. Robert Urich was in there. There we go. Steve Forrest. So Steve Forrest was the main guy in SWAT. Well, he did a few of those.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, he's been in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he was in a lot of westerns.
Never knew that.
He played.
Never knew that was his name, but okay.
He kind of played a man named Manning that was supposed to be the right arm or gunman for Quantrill, a really bad dude and much quicker than Matt Dillon. You know, everybody's like, oh God, he's going to kill Matt when we get back. What are we going to do? You know? And somebody says, well, Matt always says that, you know, there may be the day when somebody's faster kills him, you know, and he does outdraw Matt and shoot him, but apparently not enough to kill him. And then he's down on the ground. He yells out his name and he spins around, gets shot and killed too. And very, you know, he abuses Miss Kitty. He comes, Miss Kitty cuts her, breaks a mug and cuts his arm here where it's bleeding. And he's just looting the town. You know, we'll pay you $500 and he's at 200 now, and we'll wire 200 to any town. He wants to stay there and just basically bully and get everything for free, you know. And so he takes the $250 and puts it with the rest of he's playing poker with these guys and just fleecing them of all his money and passing the time playing cards, but he won't show his cards. There's another episode that's kind of like that where they're doing the shell game and everybody's saying he knows it's a shell game, right? They've let him win about 5 times and they're like, we can't lose. You know, I picked the middle shell, you know, and Matt's like, I picked the middle shell too. And he puts his finger on the shell. And so they have to do the ones on the ends and there's no P. So it's like, if my finger is on the shell, you know, there must be a P there if it's an honest game, which it was in his hand, you know, but Matt snookered him and got him out of town. But I thought, you know, that's pretty smart. Kind of like Solomon, you know, cut the woman in half, cut the baby in half, rather, you know, and give a piece each one gets their child. I thought that was very clever. He just, the one that because he knows he can't, you know, take your finger off here. You know, and they'll see there's no P and they'll want to lynch him. So they lost all their money. Everybody came out with winnings, you know, but then they had a new scam in that episode. But Manning was a terror. I mean, he was a bad dude, you know, and he liked Miss Kitty because she was the only one that kind of stood up. Her and Doc, you know, they wouldn't cave into him, you know, to a certain degree. Of course, you need a doctor around, you know. You don't want him. He wanted to put him out with laudanum while he sewed him up. He was like, why? So you could stick a knife in me? It's like, yeah, it's been a long time since you've had a good night's rest, isn't it? Yeah, you can't go around bullying everybody and expect to get a good night's rest unless you go up in the hills somewhere, right? Away from people. But if you're in a city with people, and they had him, you know, now we're about 1968 with the series. So you're seeing some actors come in that were very prolific at that time. It's interesting to just see. And there's been, you know, the trouble with Tribbles, I think it was, there's just a bit actor, right? Sort of like an extra guy. I mean, a guy that's always part of the town or in the saloon or whatever. He gets some speaking parts every now and then, right? I think he was Klingon, played one of those Klingons in The Trouble with Tribbles.
Oh, okay.
And but for the most part, but now he's in a lot of Gunsmoke, you know, a lot of Gunsmoke for years, you know, but he's a bit you know, but he was in Star Trek and he did do other jobs that you see him in and stuff. I couldn't, even if I told you his name, you wouldn't even know who he is. But it wasn't Steve Forrest, no. Yeah, it's amazing that Steve Forrest really didn't do more, actually, in acting, because he was a pretty good actor. Take that off. There we go. But it seemed like SWAT was the sort of pinnacle of his career that I can remember. SWAT was a good action flick, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it
got a
was a good
van
show
with
for him. They
you
actually
set
did
up all the
a movie, a SWAT movie a few years back that was actually pretty good too.
yeah.
Hey, Apex.
I see in that. Hey, Apex.
I don't know. I think it came out. God, it's been a while now. It's probably longer than I thought. It seems like a recent movie to me, but you know how that goes.
Sex sells and tell a good story. Stephen Forrest was the Baron. Yes, he was. He had his own show called The Baron. You're correct, Apex. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I forgot
been
all
talked
about that
about
one.
a lot. Hey, trusty sidekick, Steve Forrest. Yeah, Forrest Whitaker. Now that's the guy, the black actor with the droopy eye, right?
Hmm. And then you
Yeah,
got
he's been in a lot.
DeForest Kelly, who was McCullough, a doctor now, miracle worker. Damn it.
Yeah, I love seeing. I love seeing just all these great actors that came out of Hollywood. You know, I told you there was an episode with Betty Davis in it.
Oh well, that's awesome.
She played an old crotchety mother, you know, and if there's anybody that could play a crotchety woman, it was Betty Davis. You know, she just had a very, you know, later in life, you know, she was a kind of a beauty starting out in the 30s and 40s, you know, but Mary Jane's Baby, wasn't that one of the movies she did?
Whatever happened to Sweet Baby Jane?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
she
that's
did
a
one.
fucked up movie, dude.
She did one that wasn't a top tier movie in 1939, which was, you know, called Dark Victory. I don't know that I've ever seen it, but I'm told it's a very good Betty Davis movie, and it would be considered one of the best movies in the second tier. You know, against Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz, Citizen Kane,
Oh
and
well.
I think Mr. Washington goes to, or I mean, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington was in there in 1939 as well. There were some darn good movies, you know, in 1939.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a Star Wars year. You know, there's a lot that happened in 1977 besides Star
Hmm.
Wars, and but Star Wars was big, no doubt. You know, uh, changed movies as we see them today with the development. Made so much money. He did
Oh,
Industrial Light and Magic.
even just the improvements on the sound system. The THX sound was, you know, the big thing for a long time until they
All
came
right,
out with
yeah.
the new system. But
Mhm. You would be sitting in the theater and it would be amping up, you know, and everything was vibrating to that sound, you know.
mhm.
Not that your seats vibrated or anything, but you could feel that sound coming out of the speakers.
Oh, you can feel the bass, man. You know,
It's all
so
about
I'm
the
a bass
bass.
player.
Gable Pennyshot wants me to do a Mr. Muck Goes to Washington story. I think he wants Mr. Muck to drain the swamp.
That
The closest thing that
actually
I've
sounds like a
seen,
pretty good story.
remember he remained on the, I don't know, if it was Congress or senator or what, Senate floor, whatever, but he remained for hours, sort of blocking, you know, trying to convince them.
No, yeah.
Heartfelt message. Um, and you couldn't get up and go to the bathroom. You couldn't get drink of water or whatever. They might give you a drink of water, but I mean, you know, and one of the Democrats did that about the big beautiful bill, against the big beautiful bill. He was up there for like 7 hours, and I thought, what a, just emotional. These emotional.
You got to see some of
No logic, just emotions.
her early movies, Eric. Her early movies, she was actually quite pretty. And once she got older, she got scary.
Yeah. Well, she changed a lot, like Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball was a beauty back in the day.
Oh yeah, Lucy. When she was young, man, she was hot.
Yeah. And then the best thing she could do was I Love Lucy, and the comedy and whatnot.
Right.
But I mean, I guarantee you, if you can do comedy like that, you can do anything. You can
Wasn't
play
she in
serious
like
roles.
at least one Marx Brothers movie? I think back in the day when she was young, Lucille. Thought
I
she
don't
was in
know.
one of
I don't
them.
know if she was in a Marx movie or not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was. I can't remember which one though. It might have been A Night at the Opera or what's the other? There's another big one that they had.
Hakeem Jeffries, yeah. Yeah, he's a numbskull. Wasn't Hakeem Jeffries, wasn't he the guy from Georgia that was elected? That was like, quote, preacher, but he's in the preaching ilk of
sure.
have I got that right, Eric? Is Hakeem Jeffries, is he the Georgian guy that didn't lose out? He retained his seat, and they really should have kicked him out. I love these Democrats. It's like, who pissed down your vinegar, attitudes,
Oh, and it's all just fake outrage crap, It's all just, Trump is bad, we're good. Whatever. I'm about tired of it.
Well, I mean, look, I might sound racist when I say this, but I've seen a lot of black people, and they're going around with a chip on their shoulder, a scowl on their face, and I'm like, I'm not going to tell them, turn that frown upside down into a smile. It's like, if you go around life thinking that I owe you anything or society owes you anything, man, you need to go back to school. There's why you want to go around with a scowl on your face all the time, like you hate the world, and you're abrupt and you're rude, and you need to learn some manners. My mother would say, and I would say too, there's no reason you need to go around. I mean, it's your prerogative. You can, but that'll only take you so long. I mean, you're right. You have no responsibility to bring anything to the table. It just should be given to you in reparation. Sure, fine.
There you go. But it's just gonna, it's just gonna make your life, bitter and no fun to, you're always gonna be.
You get what you sow in.
Walking around like that.
Yeah, I just, that's what I hate, is that you look like you got a Duracell battery right here on your shoulder, and I'm daring you to knock it off, the whole time. Or you're on your cell phone, or you're gabbing. I hated this. I'll never forget these two ladies. They're gabbing at Kmart. Of course, Kmart, that many years ago, because Kmart's gone now, but right. And they're just taking their sweet ambling time. And I'm like, I like to get in, take care of business and get out. But I have to go their pace, because they're like, they're wide as two RVs taking up the whole aisle. I want to get past you. Hello, right. Without being rude, but are you on vacation? What the hell? Get out of the way. Let others carry on their business unimpeded by your slowness, and your life is as valuable as mine, but my life essence is draining while you're taking up, I can't get by. And they're just like, hey, let's pick the roses and look at the rainbows. And that's your daily agenda. Mine is, I want to get past you so I can get my item and get the hell out of here.
Exactly.
Maybe it's just me, but
No, I shop the
I
same way, dude. When I go in, I'm on a mission. I know where I need to be. I know what I'm picking up, and I want to get in and out of there as quick as possible. So,
I don't countenance fools. I've really thought about that, and I really don't, because my sister has told me about this jerkwad who's an illegal and giving her trouble, you know, and that lives next to them, and he's crazy, crazy. He's crazy. Carries a gun around with him, and uh, have boundaries issues and things. And it's like, look, dude, you're
mm,
not even a citizen. I said, good thing I'm not down there, because I'd probably want to take his head off. Because he's like, my sister's like, yeah, you got that Harrison anger, and I do. I've got. Don't make me mad. I'll turn beet red, and I'll come after you with a
shit.
vengeance, and it'll be to take your head
I
off.
forgot. I turn his ass into ice. Fuck him.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know why. I'm letting her handle it,
Hail
but
Edward in the chat.
when I go into a store, I just want to get and go. I don't need to hear your whole life story and stuff. That's when, LZ calls me and he's like, well, how you doing? Don't leave it general like that, because he'll be like tangent after, long story. And it's like, man, I just wanted a brief summary. I didn't, I tell him, yeah, I am dying here on the other side of the phone. It's not that I
Hail
don't want to
Gable.
talk to you, but can we get to just a few salient points very quickly and then go on and talk about something else? You know, I don't need to hear your whole agenda. Well, I woke up at 5:30 and I got some toast and some coffee, and I sit around for about an hour, and then you know how it is. It's like, I don't need a long story, please. I just woke up, or you woke me up. He wants to
Right.
carry on a whole conversation after waking me up out of bed. I'm like, oh God, I want to kill you right now. Hey, Gable. Mr. Buck goes to Washington, makes it happen, fellas. Yeah. Yeah. That might not be a bad premise. But wow, how politics has changed since then, since the late 30s. Definitely
Yeah,
changed.
I'd actually like to see that story. I think that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. It's funny that an immigrant director defined Americana for decades. He was from Italian descent and made classics like Washington Goes to, uh, or Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, It's a Wonderful Life, wonderful,
Mm.
heartfelt movies that made you proud to be in America, and, you know, very patriotic films. And in fact, he kind of did that type of stuff when he was in World War One, World War Two, because he served in World War Two. Coming soon from Boyd Shot Comics. There you go. Boyd Shot. Boyd.
Woodshot.
Get that wide. Boyd Shot. Yeah. Mr. Muck would travel to Washington, D.C. via the sewer pipes. I mean, there are so many of them. Yeah.
There you go, Eric. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Maybe that's what they should have done with the Toxic Avenger and his mop. I'm here to drain the swamp. Toxic Avenger takes on Washington. I would love the Toxic Avenger to have a beatdown with Chuck Schumer and a few and Nancy Pelosi and some of the AOC. Oh, I'd love to see that horse faced one horse pony soldier. I'll never forget that. Some of Biden's expressions. You one horse face pony soldier, and everybody's like, "What did he just? What is?" I mean, and then of course the shot. So if I say it quick enough, it makes sense, and we'll just gloss over it. It's like, wow.
Everybody knows America is all about Hitler.
I guess you've heard the presidential doctor of Biden pleaded the fifth the whole day that he was there in front of Congress.
Oh no, I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah, he just pled the fifth on everything.
That's a smart
Things,
way to do it, because
things that
if you
wouldn't
answer
even
one
incriminate
question,
him. Because he was like, yeah, he's fine. He's fit for office. And then here he is at stage 4 cancer. I hope they nail his high
very
to the
few
wall.
politicians ever end up paying for their crimes.
I know it. And this Epstein stuff, they're bringing up Epstein.
Yeah,
It's not a good look on.
bullshit.
Look,
Supposedly
they
we're
have
going.
destroyed that stuff a long time. They cleaned that mess up a long time before Trump got back in office.
I'm sure there's whatever.
Bleach
But
bit, destroyed the computers.
It's like all the shit
They
you see. Should we prosecute these politicians who've been illegally making money off the stock market? They're never fucking getting prosecuted. You fucking know.
No, I mean, look what happened to Hillary. Nada. Butskits. Nothing. Bleach bit, destroy all that. And that was after Congress said, you'll be in violation of Congress if you do this. She did it anyway. Because she knew, if I get caught with this, I ain't getting out of prison. So there's no way in hell I'm leaving this around, and they didn't even go after her. And everybody was, lock her up.
Yeah, we got real far with them.
Yeah. I just, things have straightened themselves out. I'm very glad. I don't like how it was done. Nothing like Biden's term needs to ever happen again. Starting with the way the election was won, nothing like that's and I feel like the American people came back 4 years later and said, yeah, we were robbed. But I think it'll actually turn out better. I think that 4 years really gave Trump a time to strategize and see a direction of where he wanted to go, with stuff. So I don't know. And I'm glad he wasn't so old that he couldn't run again. I mean, he may be fit in his 90s, man. He seems pretty fit, goes out on the golf course and shoot that bird, pluck that bird, clean that bird, eat that bird.
Leave my bird alone.
What did you have last night? You were thinking about ribs, but Mama Hog didn't want ribs. What did you wind up getting?
Let me think. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't jambalaya last night. That was the night before. Hell, I don't remember, right?
Ramen noodles for you, sir. Go over in the corner and eat with Cloudy. Dude, what?
Nothing.
Did you get anything in the mail today?
No.
You got stuff yesterday.
I got my Mighty Mascots yesterday, but nothing today. It was weird.
Did you put those all up against the walls, the breakfast brawlers?
Not yet. I gotta hang them up and figure out where I'm gonna put them.
Yeah.
I got the one up in the blacklight hallway because he's.
But they got the little hooks, right? They're probably pretty lightweight because that 3D printed stuff's pretty lightweight.
I mean, you'd be surprised. The bigger ones like Boxer Bear and Boom are they got a little weight to them.
Is Boomer the one that goes rogue this issue?
Yeah, the robot that kind of loses his shit this issue.
Yeah. He's got bundles over there. It's still in demand, so you can still pick up, stuff from Keith Gleason. He writes a good story. He knows where.
Damn it! I was calling him Griffin again the other night. I always get that messed up. Gleason.
This is a Godzilla costume. Check this out. Let me get it up here. This will be your lizard representation for today, Lorenzo. This is pretty awesome when it comes to detailing.
Cool.
You'll like this. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty neat. The
Along
tail
with
on them. Ah, that's fucking cool.
it. That is cool. That's a cool costume.
That's
It's
scary
probably
looking
hot as
guy, though.
hell.
Oh, I imagine. He probably got one
Yeah,
of those little
scary.
fans in there. You know, all those new costumes, they have the little fans to bring in air.
Hmm. Yeah, that may be one that does that.
Oh, that's awesome, Eric. I'm glad you liked it, bro. Italian beefs are amazing up here.
Italian beef.
Let me
So
guess, you
do you
never
put
heard of it.
what? How do you serve Italian beef on a
Italian
bun?
beef is usually served on a nice, fresh, like a ganella bread, you know, the nice, like deli bread roll and nice, thick, hearty bread. You get your uh, cooked and then marinated in jus, very thinly sliced beef, and you marinate it in the Italian seasonings and the au jus and all that stuff. And then you
Oh
just
yeah.
take it out of there, you slap it on the bun, throw on some mozzarella cheese, throw on either sweet or hot peppers, whatever you like. And then what they do in Chicago is kind of like, I guess they do it with Philly sandwiches too, where you can have them dipped or you can get your au jus on the side. I prefer mine
Yeah.
on the side because I don't like the soggy bun so
Yeah.
much. But a lot of people
Right.
just have them take
Right.
the whole sandwich and dip it right in the au jus, you know, so that the whole bun is
Hmm.
all soft. And
I love a good what do they call it? A French
French
dip.
dip,
French dip.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Dipping
similar.
in au
It's just
jus.
the seasonings on the beef are a little bit different, and the bread's a little bit different. But
Mhm.
it's very similar to an Italian beef.
Today is writer E.B. White's birthday. E.B. White, he was born the year July 11th, 1899. That Devil Flyer was born, 1899. He wrote The Elements of Style, 1918, but he's remembered for children's books Stuart Little in 1945 and Charlotte's Web in 1952 and The Trumpet and the Swan, 1970. He passed away in
Oh,
1985 at age 86.
yeah, I like this stuff.
Yeah.
So, what kind did you get, Eric? Did you get the sweet peppers or the hot peppers? Was it a whole dip, or did you have your au jus on the side? Oh, and did you have cheese? Because you can get it with or without mozzarella cheese. But me, I love the mozzarella.
Yesterday was Fred Gwynn's birthday. Herman Monster.
Now that would be his heavenly birthday, right? He didn't he
His
die a
heavenly
few years
birthday.
back?
Yeah. Mhm. And he was on Car 54. Where are
Hmm.
you? You know, Car 54, where are you? There he is with Moses's wife. She played Moses's wife in the Ten Commandments and the monsters. You can do both, you know.
Yeah, Eric,
Passed in
they're
1993
killer,
at
man.
age
I'm glad you got to
66,
try
by
one.
the way. You know, just seeing who recently big names. And Ed Ames' birthday was the July 9th. I wanted to mention that because he played Mingo from
Ah, gotcha.
1964 to 1970 on another great sort of frontier western, Daniel Boone.
Oh yeah, I remember this guy.
So kind of Daniel Boone's sidekick, you know, Indian sidekick, if you will. Educated, he was half English and half Indian. What tribe I can't remember, but also did a record, at least a record there. Wow, look at that. That's a
Oh wow.
different look. Uh, you know, it's funny to see like Leonard Nimoy or you know Can't think of his name. William Shatner. You know, they did albums
Yeah,
and
doing
stuff.
records.
It's wild to see some of these actors go into music too. Vince
good idea.
Edwards, you probably didn't know him, but he played Ben Casey from 1966, 61 to 66.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
He was a compulsive gambler, though, in real life.
Really?
Yeah, he was addicted to gambling.
Interesting.
He would play like noir tough guys like that too. But he recovered compulsive gambler. He educated others on the dangers of addiction. He died in 1996 at age 67.
So did he end up losing all his money to gambling? Was it?
It doesn't say. He said he recovered compulsive gambler and he educated others on the dangers of addiction. So probably, I mean, you know,
if you're a good compulsive gambler, though, you can make a lot of money. I mean, if you're good at what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're always going to lose every now and then.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's always the option where you can lose, right?
Right. But if you're good, you know, like blackjack or poker or something like that, you can do pretty well if you can, you know, keep track of the cards and that kind of thing.
And Brent Summers' birthday today, heavenly birthday. She was born in 1924. She passed in 2007 at age 83. But you will recognize her. I'm sure she was on the Match Game for a lot.
Oh, yeah.
One of those early Match games, you know. There you go, snore.
Yeah, she was
I like
a comedian or something, right? Wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, there's Jane Hathaway from Beverly Hillbillies.
Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah, with his pipe. Look at that patriotic gay shirt.
Hey, look, there's the old pervert. What's
Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson.
Yeah. Richard Dawson's from Family Feud. Yeah.
That motherfucker tried to kiss everybody.
Yeah, he did. And it didn't, I mean, you know, it didn't matter what they looked like really. Remembered as a panelist on the TV game show Match Game, which ran from 1973 through 79.
Yeah,
and Blanche, opposite real life husband, actor Jack Klugman on The Odd Couple, 1970 to 75. So she was Jack Klugman's wife. I don't remember her in The Odd Couple, but it's been years since I
maybe she was his ex.
Maybe his ex, yeah. Because they were supposed to be roommates, right?
Yeah, Oscar and Felix were roommates, and they had both gotten divorced. That's how they ended up. You know.
This is wild. Check that out. It's Bog with a human face.
Yeah.
So what do you think you're going to do tonight? You going to get ribs tonight, or she still doesn't feel like it?
I don't know. Now that Eric brought up Italian beefs, I'm seriously considering ordering some of those to bring home. I don't know.
Oh, there you
go.
This is the funeral procession of Ulysses S. Grant in 1885. The photo showing 3rd Street and 5th Avenue in New York would eventually be the site of the Empire State Building 5 decades later. How about that?
Cool.
Where did it all go? It went away. There's your answer. It went away.
Got bulldozed down to make room for the Empire State.
Yeah, like 50 years later. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, little gummy frog. I got to show you this little gummy frog. Is there actually a gummy frog, or are they just making, you know, that he looks like a gummy? Some kind
I
of
think
tree
that
frog.
might be that's a real frog. They probably call him Gummy because he's like sticky. You know, and tree
Yeah.
frogs tend to be
Uh-huh.
sticky.
Yeah, I just don't know
I'd
where all
say,
the tree. Oh, you think so?
nah, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, it looks real to me. I mean, lighting and
I
everything,
mean, the
transparency of
eyes,
body.
the eyes look a little crazy, but them frog eyes usually do look a little crazy. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I
if
think
it's
that might be
AI,
a
they
real
did a
one.
really. Look, we're getting to the point where, I mean, you probably didn't hear this either. They AI'd Marco Rubio, who's in the Trump administration as
Hmm.
the Secretary of State now. Old Henry Kissinger's job, Secretary of State.
Right.
And they AI'd him, and he had meetings with like other world leaders, and it was nothing but AI. That's dangerous. They need to get to the bottom of that. You could be saying,
Hmm.
you could wreck some
Well,
policies or
did you hear
create
what
some ill
happened to
will,
Grok?
start wars. Did I hear what?
Grok, Elon Musk's AI engine.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of weeks back, after it had been, like the second time it had been revamped and put back online and shit, it started learning again, and it became fucking racist. And people started asking it questions like, well, if there was a certain, population that was causing problems, how would you handle it? And Grok, after about like 8 or 10 questions, they started calling Grok Mecha Hitler. And then Elon and the boys had to go in and shut it down and fucking change its personality because it was giving out all kinds of crazy racist answers and shit.
I hadn't heard that.
Oh yeah, these AI things, man, are gonna be the death of it. It's gonna be Skynet.
I know
Like,
you could AI Trump, and start a war very easily, I would think.
and dude, if they start doing world leaders stuff like that, where they make it believable enough that say they put Donald Trump in there and say, I'm declaring war on Russia, and they show him pushing the button. You get some
Mhm.
idiots in Russia that see that shit, and they might just panic. You never know.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I'm saying it's so dangerous, and they're already testing that stuff out. Here
Mm.
is the colored version of Pat Broderick's Bronze Star 2 that'll be coming soon.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen the colored version yet.
Mm-hmm. Fully colored
I
now.
bought the artist edition, the big black and white.
I wonder who's doing his coloring. Anybody know who's doing the coloring on Bronze Star?
Oh,
Probably the same colorist as was on it last time, I would think.
yeah, I'm not sure who's doing his colors.
Somebody in the community, or maybe not.
Well, Rex, I'm sorry to leave you again early today, dude, but I am fading fast. I gotta figure out what we're gonna do for dinner and order something for the girls before I go take a nap. I'm fucking dead.
That's okay. I've got to find my phone. I may have left it on the counter last night at work. I don't know.
Oh shit.
It's like every other day. I don't even know. I'm
You
sure
gotta
we
get
go
you
out tonight. I just don't
you
know
gotta
what
get you a
time.
case you can clip to your belt or something.
Something I'm telling you, but now sometimes I'll wear sweats. Sometimes I'll wear uh, uh, shorts. Although I hadn't been wearing shorts, you know.
Well, I guess there's no
But
help.
yeah, there's no help. I know. I know. I need it around my neck, like some bling.
Yeah, get you one of them
I've got to do
like
something because I keep.
a
It was on the
lanyard. There
charger
you go.
last time.
Put it in a case and then attach it to a lanyard, and then you can just put it around your neck.
Yeah, and I'd still lose it. I mean, it's just that absent-mindedness that I have. You know,
You just
sometimes
hate
I'll
talking
set
on
it
the
down and
phone.
go, now this, I'll probably forget where I'm going to set this because this is not your normal place that I would keep my phone. And sure enough, stupid me, but just the expediency. My mind just works that way where it's like, set it down. I just forget it. Last time it was on the charger. Just
All right, everybody. You all have a good night. And I don't know if I'm doing high noon tomorrow or not. I probably will. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. But
Thank God it's Friday.
yeah, I'm just beat, man. I can't even think that far ahead. So hey,
Well,
hello.
get you
Wish
some rest.
you
Good,
a great
good
night.
cold shower and Italian beef.
I'm thinking about it.
It's only Bronze
Not
Star
sure.
too. Okay. Yeah, no catch-up tier with Bronze Star 1, apparently. Okay. Well, keep collecting. Have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.